Welcome everybody to this month's webinar presented by Transfer Express. My name is Andy Curtis and it is a pleasure to join you all this afternoon. I want to welcome everybody to
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
Meet some of you guys and get to do an in-person seminar. It's so much fun to do this behind a computer screen once a month, but it's funny to actually get out there in front of the crowd. Different talking to people than talking to my computer screen, I guess. But thank you to everybody who came out and said hi. Forget about warming up sales. It was a good way to warm up in general down there in Orlando. So, but that being said, the topic for today is warming up winter sales. We know that the holidays are around the corner, but beyond just the holidays, sales ideas, sales items, what can we do as professional decorators, what can we do in the garment industry, how can we spice up and warm up our winter sales? That's going to be the topic for today. So as usual, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, I encourage you to type them into the box. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do a question and answer session today, but if you have any questions that you do type into the box, we will get back to you personally, email you whatever answers to whatever questions you do ask. So do not hesitate. Now, at the end also, if you do want a copy of the slides we're going to see today, because there's going to be some interesting information towards the end of the webinar when we talk about bundling, that you might want a copy of these slides. If that is the case, we will encourage you to send an email to info @transferexpress.com, and we will be able to email you a copy of the slides. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started, shall we? The objectives for today, we're going to talk about the best decorating methods for garments that sell like hotcakes, hoodies, zipper hoods, jackets. It is that time of year after all. We're going to talk about some easy but less commonly heat-printed items. Again, if you've ever joined me before, you know that half of what I like to do is I want to give you guys ideas. I want to arm you with concepts and strategies and things you can take out there and blow your competition away with. So I'm going to give you some ideas on some items you might not have thought to heat print on, or didn't think were so easy to heat print on, at least. We're going to talk about gang sheets because sometimes I don't think people realize how much money they can save utilizing gang sheets, so we're going to give you a good example of that. And then at the very end, we're going to sort of take the cable company's cue here, and we're going to talk about bundling. We're going to talk about using gang sheets and decorating multiple items, and we're going to do some cool gift baskets, actually, just sans the basket part. So that is the goal. All right, so without further ado, let's talk hoodies. Now, my sister is a couple years out of high school at this point, but she's still at that age, I think the early 20-something age, where they love hoodies. They still live in hoodies. I think she must have an entire closet full of them. And I know she's not the only one. Hoodies are crazy popular this time of year. That part's not a secret. Now, what is interesting with hoodies is we have a lot of different places we can decorate. Now, in the pictures here, you see that all my pictures on the slide, they're all full front pictures, but there are far more places we can decorate hoodies. We can decorate on the hoods. We can decorate on the sleeves. We can decorate on the muff pocket on the front. There's a bunch of interesting places we can heat press to mix things up a little bit. It's also fun to add personalization for these. If we're talking about a team, like a football team or any of the fall sports that are starting up here, if you're doing a team thing, what's actually a really cool way of mixing things up is to put the name and the number instead of on the back like everyone's expecting. You know, the hood gets in the way, so why bother doing that anyway? Put the name and the number in someplace different. Put the name down one of the sleeves. Put the number on the hoodie and the muff pocket. You can actually put names and numbers on hoods too. We had a customer do that once. Turned out really cool. It's a little bit extra paying attention during the application process, but in the end, you get a garment that looks really interesting. You get something that's different, and how else are you going to keep the customers happy? The high schools are happy if the kids are happy. The kids are happy if you give them something that looks cool, that looks different. If we just keep doing the same things over and over again, then we're not impressing anybody. So And then if you're using youth hoodies, I cannot stress this part enough, if you're using a youth hoodie, you do have to take a minute to measure the space that you're working with. Hoodies are sort of goofy because they have that muff pocket, and unfortunately there really isn't an industry standard as to what size that pocket is. There is to a degree, but printable area changes based on the hoodie design. If you actually, a good example here, if you look at my top left photograph, the gentleman wearing the hockey hoodie there, his pocket's normal size, but he's got the weird lace-up thing happening. It looks cool, but he's actually, that design is eliminating some room for us to do the decorating on. So my point is, when you're doing a youth hoodie, take a minute to actually measure your decorating area. Measure how much room you have to work with, because there is no such thing as standard for that kind of stuff. It's always good to make sure when we're doing your transfers for you, make sure that we're actually working within the constraints of what you're going to be working with. So hoodies, top seller, definitely something to look into. If you don't stock hoodies, if you don't do a lot of hoodies, this is absolutely a great money maker, maybe unless you live in California, California or Florida. Otherwise, you're certainly going to have a chance to sell a lot of these this time of year. So all the hoodies, most of the hoodies that you see here with the exception of the top left one, these hoodies do come from Broder Brothers. Is a great place to get hoodies from if you're looking for a wholesaler for hoodies. Broder Brothers is a great place to hit up. They do have a fantastic selection, a lot of different types, materials, that kind of stuff. So absolutely hit up Broder Brothers if you're looking for a good place to get hoodies from. So now let's talk about zipper hoods. This is probably a close second. If we're not going to talk about the pullover hoodie, then there's going to be the zipper hood instead. Now this is my personal favorite. I'm not a hoodie guy. I'm a zipper hood guy. The zipper hoods come in two different kinds. Now after this slide, we're actually going to talk about how to apply on these. So I can already hear some of you thinking that question, how did we do some of these applications? So hold that thought. We're going to get to that. But when we're doing zipper hoods, we have a couple different ways we can go about decorating them, and we've actually shown you some of those strategies here. If you want to look at the bottom right of my screen here, we've got Cheer Team Panthers. Now, on the left side of that picture, we see Cheer Team Panthers real big. It's actually been applied across the zipper. Okay, and again, we're going to talk about how to do that in a minute, but it's been applied across the zipper. So we've got a great looking full-size transfer on that zip hood, or we can avoid the whole zipper situation altogether and we can decorate just down one side. I know that in years past, especially those of us who've been doing this for a long time, we're sort of in that habitual type mindset that decorating down just one side of the front doesn't feel right. It doesn't look centered. I can't visually. Trust me when I say this is one of the popular things the kids are doing. It doesn't matter if you've got something centered on the front. Same thing with the light blue hoodie that's at the top right of the screen there. We haven't decorated the full front of it. We've decorated just the left side as she's wearing it there. Pick a cool color that contrasts really nice, and again, it's a cool looking design. This is the kind of thing the kids are looking for. Now at the top left, we actually, the top left there, we've taken that hoodie even a step further. Not only did we decorate across the front of her hoodie, but then we also foiled it too. That's a purple foil, I believe, that's been put over top of her design at the top left there. So, but that being said, the point is, don't feel like you're stuck decorating across the full front. Mix it up a little bit. There's no reason you can't go down just the left side, just the right side. Or get creative even. There's no reason we can't go diagonal. There's all sorts of fun different applications too. So don't feel stuck when we're talking about stuff like this. Hoodies too. Don't feel stuck into decorating the full front. Get creative. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about actually pressing on these hoodies and zip hoods for just a second here. Aside from just talking about how popular they are, again, it's wintertime. These are the things people are looking for. Even my sister, who owns 10 million of these hoodies, she's always looking for another one to add to her collection. And to that point, the kids who have a ton of these, if you can make something that looks different, that's going to get their attention. And even though they already own 20 hoodies, they're going to buy another one because you've done something that looks cool. But that being said, let's talk about application here. What we've done, we've taken our hoodie, and in the picture you see on the right-hand side, we've dressed the platen. This is called threading the platen. Basically, we open up the hoodie, and we put just the one layer of fabric on the heat press. The other layer of fabric hangs underneath. That's why you see the fabric draped the way it is over the platen like that in the picture. So we've threaded the hoodie onto the platen, and then the problem here is, and you can actually see it very well in this picture, take a close look at that white hoodie. You see that muff pocket is actually in the way. That muff pocket is still on the heat press. And the problem is, even if we took that hoodie and moved it far back on the press to get that pocket off, then the collar of the hood is going to be on the press. So with a hoodie like this, the problem we've got is we're not getting a good, flat, clean surface. Okay, so how do we handle it? Well, we've threaded the hoodie onto the platen, and now what you can't see very well in the photograph, unfortunately, is we've taken the item that you see on the left-hand side of the screen, a Print Perfect pad, and we've put the Print Perfect pad up underneath the hoodie to raise the surface area where we're pressing. The whole reason for this, and we're going to take a trip back to high school physics, if you want to join me back to high school physics for just a second here, when that heat press, when we swing that press out, that's one of the old black swingers, when we swing that press back out in the picture there and we go to press that hoodie, the press is going to hit the muff pocket. It's not going to hit the actual front of the hoodie, good, clean, flush hit. It's going to be sort of at an angle. That means it's going to be uneven pressure. That means the transfer might not apply right. That's why we have to compensate for that muff pocket somehow. And the Print Perfect pad, like you see in the picture on the left, that helps us compensate. All that really is the same foam material that the bottom platen of your heat press is made out of. It's kind of like a mouse pad, just a spongier, thicker version of a mouse pad, if you want to go with me on that one. So we take that Print Perfect pad, we put it up underneath the hoodie, where the transfer itself is going to go, and that raises the surface area above the muff pocket. So now when the press comes down and locks, it's going to hit the printing area and not hit the pocket at all. So that totally fixes our obstacle problem. Now, I can already hear a ton of people out there in listening land talking to your computer right now saying, I have never used a Print Perfect pad, or I've never used something to raise the surface area on a hoodie. Are you serious? I've never done that before. The rule of thumb here is we tell you to do it because you always run that risk. If you opt to try and press hoodies without a Print Perfect pad, just with that muff pocket on there and the obstacle in the way, you very well could have the hoodies come out totally fine without a problem. You also run the risk of them coming out under applied, and you won't know they are until your customer goes to wash them and the transfer starts to come off because it has been under applied. So it's always, always, always best to raise the surface area when you have an obstacle. So that is the best way to handle a hoodie. That's the best way to go about it. Now, of course, that's when we're talking about full fronts. If we're talking about other application areas, if we're talking about the side, because I don't know if you all have seen out there, the girls love when you do a cool-looking design up the side of a shirt, up the side of a sweater or a t-shirt or a hoodie, that kind of thing. If you're pressing in a different area, you're just going to use the same logic. Make sure there are no obstacles, and if there are obstacles, raise your surface area. Okay, so those of you out there talking to your computer saying, okay, well, I don't have a Print Perfect pad, where can I get one? They are sold by our sister company, Stalls ID Direct, or if you don't have the money to go out and get a Print Perfect pad, or you need something right now because of a project, there are some other fun ways around this. Mouse pads, again, are a good way, but mouse pads obviously are only so big. So if we're talking left chest, then a mouse pad might be able to do it for you. If we're talking about something bigger, we can always use something hard like cardboard. The whole point to raising the surface area is you're looking for something that's firm, not soft and squishy, so not a non-stick pillow. Do not ever use a non-stick pillow. Okay? Too squishy, it'll absorb all the pressure, won't press right. All right, so that's how to go about applying a hoodie. So now let's talk about applying on the zipper hoods. Now, for those of you who did come out to SGIA Orlando and come say hi to me, if you came to my class, then you saw we actually did this. The whole catch to the zipper hoods is you've got two different kinds of zipper hoods. You have zipper hoods that have the fabric flaps covering the hood, or I'm sorry, covering the zipper rather. And that's what we've got in these pictures here. We've got the type of zipper hood where the fabric flaps cover the zipper. Then we've also got the type that don't have those fabric flaps. That's going to be the next slide here. So first, talking about whether you do have the flaps. The catch here is you don't actually have to worry about the zipper. You don't actually have to avoid any obstacles. You don't actually have to worry about raising surface areas. We're going to press right over it. Because the zipper has the fabric flaps over it, we can actually just slap a transfer right over it, and then we're going to use the zipper to actually zip down, cut through the transfer. And I know it sounds, at first when you hear it said out loud, it sounds like something, oh boy, that sounds a little hokey. I promise you it works every time. We did it at the trade show. People were always stunned, and it was funny to see how many people had been in the industry for a while and never thought of doing it before. So again, you're going to load your hood, your zip hood, you're going to load it up onto your heat press, already zipped up. Okay? You're going to position the transfer, the full front transfer, on the full front, just like you saw we did in the picture on the right there, the Magnolia one. We just positioned it on the full front. We press the transfer, and then we simply unzip the zipper. Okay? Now, if this is a hoodie that you've gotten from a wholesaler that does not recommend heat, we have to start asking questions about if the zipper is plastic, if any of it is plastic. If that is the case, if you do have a hoodie that's got no heat recommendation, or if you've got a zip hood that the zipper and such is plastic, then we're going to move on to the next way of pressing is going to be the one you're going to want to go with. You're not going to want to actually press over top of a plastic zipper. That's going to melt it all together, and it's going to be a bad thing. Now, there's actually a video. The pictures you're looking at on my screen are actually stills from a video. If you want to watch this actually being done, I do recommend just go to transferexpress.com, go under the help and education section, and we've got a whole bunch of product demos. This is one of them. So that's applying over a zip hood. Again, if you've got the two fabric flaps, just straight up apply right over it, and then use the zipper to zip it down and split the transfer right down the middle. So now, if you have a hood that does not have the covered zipper, in this case, we're still going to want to keep it zipped. We're going to cut the transfer down the middle. And again, this is simple to do. We can use the grid lines on the back of the transfer paper to help us out with this. And I'm sure all of us have a different tip or trick on how to do this. But you're going to cut the transfer in half straight up the middle. Okay? Then we're going to use those grid lines on the back of the paper to position each half of the transfer on either side of the zipper, and we're going to apply it like that. Okay? We obviously cannot apply over the zipper. We don't want to do that. So we do have to cut the transfer, and we can position either half. And what you do is you line it right up against the zipper. Don't obviously put the transfer on the zipper, but you're going to line up the edge of your transfer with the edge of your fabric. Okay? So that's how we would go about doing that. Then you would actually just press them at the same time and peel both halves. All right? Very simple to do, still very easy to do, and this again is also a video we have on transferexpress.com under the help and education section. Towards the end of the webinar, we'll pop out to that website and I'll show you where I'm talking about. So, but anyway, so that is another great strategy, another thing everyone got to see us do at the trade show if you joined us. So it definitely works. It's a good way to go about doing it, because the only other alternative would be to press the two halves separately, which would be very difficult. You'd end up having to get thermotape. You'd end up having to tape things down and press one half and then press the other half, and then you run the risk of things being out of line. So this is definitely the easiest way to go about doing it. All right, so hoods and hoodies aside, let's talk about jackets, because again, 'tis the season. The jackets that you see in the picture here are all easily purchased from Broder Brothers, another good Broder Brothers purchase here. Now, jackets do tend to be nylon. The jackets that we use here in the decorating industry, we do tend to have a lot of nylon. Now, that's not a rule. Obviously, you can go find polyester if you so desire. It is definitely out there. But a lot of the good quality windbreakers and jackets, a lot of the nice quality things, especially in sports where we're talking about coaches' jackets and that kind of stuff, that is usually nylon as a rule of thumb. So the situation we have here is, unlike hoodies, which are cotton polyester, the hoodies and stuff, they can all take the screen printed transfers like you've been seeing in the webinar so far. The nylon material of a jacket, our screen printed transfers aren't going to want to stick to that. So instead we use our CAD Prints opaque product. Now, this product is interesting, as you can see from the pictures here, because the CAD print is obviously has a lot more color happening. There's a lot more going on in terms of fading, shading, 3D effects. With the CAD print product, it doesn't matter how many colors you've got. It's not priced based on the amount of colors at all. It's priced based on square inches and quantity. So you can have pieces of artwork that are much more bright and vibrant than you can with the screen printing. Now, in this case, we're going to talk about all of these CAD prints here. The CAD print product, again, is not exactly what you might think. The CAD print product is us taking a piece of white film, printing full color artwork onto it, and then cutting that artwork out of the piece of film. Now, to say film, that brings up this image of wearing plastic or something to that effect, and it's certainly not like that. The CAD prints are very, very, very lightweight. In addition to everything else, they've actually got a great stretch capacity. They apply to more than just nylon. They actually apply to just about any fabric you can fit into a heat press. So the CAD print product is very diverse. It's very lightweight. It feels very pleasant, especially on nylon like this. If you were to apply a CAD print onto a piece of nylon, run your hand over it, you really don't feel that much of a difference. The CAD prints are not thick and obtrusive or heavy or unpleasant. So definitely the best direction to go when we're talking about jackets. And they do, like I said, stick to just about anything. So let's say you do order some jackets and they end up not being all nylon. They have a splash of something else in them. They're mixed with something. Because the CAD Prints opaque will stick to just about anything, you don't have to worry. So CAD Prints definitely a great way to go when we're talking about jackets. So what you're seeing here on this screen, this is our CAD Prints price calculator. Now, again, like I said a second ago, the screen print product is different because we're pricing it based on how many colors, how many pieces you're ordering. Because, again, it's screen printing. The more colors you have us print, the more screens we have to burn. And that's how a screen printer does pricing. Now, again, the CAD Prints doesn't exactly work that way because we're not burning any screens. We're printing onto a piece of white film. So the CAD Prints price calculator, this can be easily found at transferexpress.com, and what we're doing here is we're just telling the computer what type of CAD print I want. In this case, we chose opaque. We're choosing whether or not we want an outline around the CAD print, how many pieces, in this case 20, and then putting in our size, 4x4, and then as soon as we hit calculate, that's when we got the information on the far right-hand side here, unit price of $224 per piece, so $44.80. So if you look at that price for a second, that's actually a phenomenal price for 20 transfers at 4 inches by 4 inches that can stretch, they can go on nylon, they can apply to just about anything, a thin, pleasant to the touch material, $44.80. So, and that's for all 20 pieces. So definitely a good way to go here. And again, this CAD Prints calculator can be found right on our website, very easy to locate. Actually, as a matter of fact, why don't we go ahead and pop out to our website real quick here, and we'll actually talk about some of this stuff. So here we are at transferexpress.com. Now, a minute ago, before we were talking about CAD prints, we were talking about how to find the videos on our website, the videos of what we just actually watched, or I'm sorry, what we just actually saw with the hoodies and the zip hoods and stuff. If we go under Help and Education, this red toolbar across the top of the screen. Now, I didn't click. I'm just hovering my mouse over it. And notice how as we hover over Help and Education, we get a little menu that pops up. And towards the bottom of this menu, we should see, at the very bottom here, Educational Videos. If we click here on Educational Videos, give it a second to load. Here we go. Now, you see down our right-hand side, we have Video Collections, Application Instructions, and the second one down right there, Product Demos. Product Demos is where you're going to find the videos about how to apply on a hoodie, how to apply on a zip hood, how to do all the applications we just talked about. So you can locate those videos right there under Product Demos. Now, let's go ahead and go back to the main page here. All right, so now from here, if we were going to get the CAD Prints price calculator, if you wanted to work up some pricing on our CAD Prints product using the calculator we just looked at, I'm hovering my mouse over heat applied transfers. Again, it's that red toolbar, and I did not click. I'm just hovering my mouse, and this menu pops up. Now, obviously, we have a lot going on here, but if we look at the right-hand side under Resources, I see a couple down right in the middle there, CAD Prints price calculator. And we click there, and we see exactly what we were just looking at before. So here is the CAD Prints price calculator. So you can certainly play with the CAD Prints pricing a little bit, explore. So, okay, we're going to get back to the webinar here. Okay, all right, so let's jack it. So here's a new item that you might not have thought about before, umbrellas. Applying on an umbrella is actually easier than you might think. It takes a little finagling, but it's not that big of a deal. Umbrellas, for the most part, do tend to be nylon or some kind of nylon derivative, some kind of nylon material. So what we do for these is, again, the CAD print opaque. Because it is nylon, the CAD prints will stick to it. The screen print transfers are not going to want to stick to it. They're not going to want to adhere. So in this case, we're using the CAD print opaque. And if you look at the picture on the right there, not only are we using the CAD prints, but anyone notice what type of machine it is we're using in that picture? It's a hat press. The hat press actually works perfectly in this case. Now, you can use a regular flatbed heat press. You don't have to use a cat press, but it did make it a lot easier in our case to use the cat press. The cat press is a good size to fit between the like inside the panel, the actual panel that we were pressing on, and as long as we size the transfer properly, because cat press is only so big, then using the cat press is very, very simple. Now, if you are going to use a regular flatbed heat press, it's totally not a problem. In that case, you just have to utilize the corner of the heat press, and you get the panel that you're actually going to be pressing on, you get that panel up onto the corner of the heat press. Now, my experience when you're pressing an umbrella, depending on if you have a heat press caddy or if you're using like a countertop or however you've got your press setting, it can be a situation where you do need to rearrange a little bit because the rest of the umbrella is going to be hanging off the edge. So it's helpful if you have somebody to help you out. It's helpful if you're using a countertop or something so you have something to set the rest of it down on. But definitely easier to do than you might think. And it's a fun item to add to your repertoire, actually. If we think about it, this is one of those things that any student can use. I don't know how often you guys see it, but living out here in Metro Ohio, we have one of the biggest local school districts in the state of Ohio, and I tend to see a lot of kids standing out at the bus stop. And I always feel bad for the kids in the rain because they're standing there in the rain, they're still getting soaking wet. An umbrella is a great item that a school spirit store could be carrying. This is a great idea to throw out for those of you who do work with high school spirit stores and who might not already be selling umbrellas. This is a great idea to add to the list of neat and interesting things to sell at the spirit store. So just a thought. So did you know that your Hotronix heat press, for those of you out there in listening land who have a Hotronix, did you know that your Hotronix heat press can press on shoes? That's right, you heard me correctly. If you joined me for some of the webinars, I know we talked about this about a month or so ago also, and sort of in passing, but this is the Hotronix shoe platen. Now, again, it only fits on the Hotronix heat presses, so you do have to have a Hotronix, but this is a beautiful thing. Using the unique shape of the shoe platen, you can actually mount a shoe right onto the heat press, just like you see on the left there, the two pink Keds on the, I think those are Keds, on the left-hand side there. We've mounted them, we've loaded them on to the shoe platen, and it's very simple to do so. We're not talking brain surgery here. And then it's very easy to heat press from there. So using the shoe platen, you can add shoes to the list of things you can decorate. And you don't have to stop at just shoes. Notice that on the top of that pile of shoes in my right-hand picture there, on the top of that pile of shoes, we actually have a black sandal. That's right. That sandal was also pressed using the shoe platen. Again, just the unique shape of the shoe platen allows you to load shoes on there from the top, from the sides, wherever you have enough space to actually heat press something. Now keep in mind, you have to be strategic about this. You have to make sure if you have somebody asking you to decorate shoes, you have to make sure that you've actually got the room to decorate. There are some shoes that they have the seams, they have the weird panels, they have the decorating all over the place, and you don't always necessarily have space on every single shoe in existence. So if you do have somebody who's interested in going the custom shoe route, we just make sure that we do actually have some space to do the decorating on. So make sure to have a ruler handy, make sure to do some measuring, have an accurate idea of how much space you're working with. You notice our cleat there in the picture on the right. Our cleat, we didn't have a lot of space to decorate on. We still pulled it off. We still got a really nice Lions football, and that's a CAD print that's on that cleat. But we still got it to work. The point is you just got to make sure you know what area you're working with. But definitely a fun thing to add to your repertoire. The shoe platen is available, as I said, for any Hotronics heat press, so definitely a great option. Towels. I blame the Steelers for this fad. For those of you who are familiar with the terrible towel, towels are a fun item for everybody right now, and not just rally towels, golf towels and beach towels and all that kind of stuff. But if you think about it, this is actually a great way for a local high school to sort of feel a little bit more than a high school, to feel professional almost, because we've all seen the rally towels out at the professional football games. Maybe this is a Northeast Ohio thing. Maybe this is just the Browns and the Steelers perhaps. But we've all seen the professional teams with the rally towels and everyone swinging the towels around. We've seen some college teams do that. Rally towels are a fun way for a high school to sort of go beyond just being a high school. It makes everybody feel a little bit more professional, especially when we're talking about the school colors. Definitely a neat option to offer to local spirit stores, the high school spirit shop, that kind of stuff. Beach towels too. Beach towels, we live up here on Lake Erie here in Mentor, Ohio, so beach towels are something that's sort of one of those facts of life where you live on the lake, you're going to use the lake, well, you got to have a beach towel then. And of course, the golf towels, and all three of these types of towels, I believe, are all available from Broder Brothers also, so another great place to get all these at. But golf towels are another great item, especially when we're talking about our bundles that we're going to be discussing in just a couple minutes here. Towels are a very unique way of getting your decorating out there. It's a unique way of personalizing an item that people don't often think about. Now, all products will apply to towels because towels are essentially cotton. Terry cloth, when we really break it down here, towels are made from cotton terry cloth. Terry cloth is simply just loops of cotton fiber. That's all it is. When you break it down, now the higher quality towel, the more dense those loops are, the deeper the loops are. Cheaper towels might be very much flat. There might not be a lot of loop happening there. The word you hear connected with that sometimes is pile, a high pile or a low pile. But because this is all cotton, the transfers will apply to it just fine. Now, I will throw it out there that there is a type of terry cloth called French terry cloth, which is a cotton terry cloth with spandex mixed in, believe it or not. Sort of a neat little innovation there. That's sort of more of a fashion item, not something as common. If you do have French terry cloth, by some stroke of luck, that you want to be more careful with because of the spandex mixed in. The screen print is not going to want to stretch. So in that case, we would go to something that would be more cooperative, like the CAD print opaque. But all very easy to apply, very simple to do all the applications you see here because there's no boundary, or I'm sorry, not boundaries, obstacles. There's no obstacles in the way on any of these towels. Now, in the case of the towel at the top left, where we do have that blue band that's been sewn onto the towel, that's a little bit of an obstacle, but that was easy to just hang off the edge. So, easy applications, nice item to throw in for your decorating repertoire. This is probably one of my favorites, though, I have to say. When I saw some of the garment wholesalers out there start selling blankets and scarves, I was a little bit skeptical, thinking to myself, really, is that totally necessary? But after last Christmas, the girls in the office here at Transfer Express, our girls in our dealer services department, they went absolutely bananas for the blankets and the scarves from some of the different garment wholesalers, and suddenly you discover that blankets are a really fun item to personalize. There's all sorts of fun stuff you can do with a blanket. And if any of you have ever been to Northeast Ohio during football season, you know that we will continue to go to the football games despite the snow and the cruddy weather. We will sit there in the stands of Brown Stadium with our blankets wrapped around us. So blankets are definitely a good item to add to your list of winter sales items. The scarves as well. The scarf, the gloves, and the blanket that you all see here are very easily obtainable. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. I like to get them from Broder Brothers. Broder Brothers has a nice selection of heat press friendly blankets and scarves and such. So, and if you think about it, again, this is easy to do. Pressing on a blanket, totally simple, and you don't have to get any weird sizing because we're talking about a big, massive blanket. We can do just a standard 11 by 11 full-size transfer, or one of my favorite little tactics when we're getting creative with these blankets, get some smaller transfers. Our paper, and we're actually going to talk about the idea of gang sheets here in just a minute, folks, but the idea is our paper is 11 by 14, and you can actually fit 4 designs on a sheet of paper when you make them about 5 inches by 5 inches. So you take those 4 images and you press them at an angle in each corner of the blanket. That's kind of a fun thing to do. So great strategy, and if we're going with the sports theme, you can tie it all together, blanket and scarf, all pressed the same way. The gloves that you see there also heat pressed. The gloves are not such a big project. Again, anytime you see a garment, it's heat pressable. You just have to ask yourself, what are the obstacles? How can I get around them? And when it comes right down to it, it's easier than you think generally. Just raising the surface area, mouse pads, anything firm that you can put up in there to raise the surface area to get around any of the seams that are in your way. And of course, hanging as much off the end of the platen as you can is very helpful too. So, all right, so let's talk about the bundle concept that I mentioned at the very beginning of the webinar so you can see what I'm talking about here. Now, what I'm showing you on the screen is a gang sheet. Gang sheets are going to be half the battle to this bundle section. We're going to talk about some fun gift baskets you can make up. Now, these are ideas for your retail shop, those of you who have a retail shop, or these can be a fun idea for you to throw out to your customers when your customers come to you looking for something unique, looking for some kind of neat thing to do for the holiday season. But before we show you these gift baskets, these bundle ideas, here's how we're actually doing them, is we're using gang sheets. Gang sheets are underutilized, they're not understood well, and it's a crime because you can save a lot of money. Now, the reps here at Transfer Express, we will always try to direct you to gang sheets whenever you have the situation, when you have designs that can be all put together. Whenever we can save you money doing a gang sheet, we certainly will. But just so everyone out there listening land understands, the paper we screen print on here at Transfer Express is 11¼ by 14 inches. You can fit all sorts of fun stuff on that sheet of paper. So what we've done here is we've done a couple vertical designs, or horizontal rather. We're looking at the sheet sideways, I think. We're looking at some vertical designs. We're looking at some full-size designs. We're looking at some heart designs. So definitely a fun way to go about putting stuff together. You can save a lot of cash here because this all counts as one individual order. We're not talking about a bunch of little orders. If you had tried to order all these designs that you see on the picture here, if you tried to order them separately, you would be paying a lot of cash, a lot of cash. In this case, because we've all put them on one sheet of paper, it's one order, one single order, and that's how we've done the gift baskets, the bundles that you're going to see here in the next upcoming slides. Okay, so without further ado, keep in mind that what you're about to see we've just done with gang sheets. Let's talk about the golfer bundle. Here's a fun little basket, little bundle to do. Again, these are all simple items that we've gotten from garment wholesalers in our industry. No secrets or anything like that. What we've done here is we haven't even gone the gang sheet route, to be totally honest with you. In this case, we just use our CAD print opaque, and we've decorated coolers, tea bags, golf towels. Koozies are another fun item to add to the golfer bundle. You can always add a golf shirt to the golfer bundle, of course. We all know how golfers like to wear the polo shirts. The performance wear is what's very popular right now for golfers. The polyester performance wear, the moisture wicking stuff, that can be very easily done with a CAD print opaque as well. And now the CAD prints, just to clear up some confusion here, the CAD prints we do not do gang sheets in the traditional sense, because if you think about it, we're not printing on pieces of paper with the CAD print process. We're printing onto a piece of white film, a roll of film, so there's not actually sheets of paper. But we do offer something called a bid kit. So I am going to say that one more time. A bid kit. A bid kit is sort of a set of transfers, a design you send us. What we do is we take the design you send us, we print a 4x4, some 3x3, a couple 2x2s, basically just a kit of some small CAD prints that allow you to show a customer what they look like. They allow you to play with the product. You've never played with it before. The bid kit just gets you a couple small designs. And now, if you're doing a full front of a T-shirt, obviously the bid kit's not going to be very helpful because the bid kit's 4x4, 3x3, 2x2. But in this case, what we've done here with this golfer set, you can totally use the bid kit for this. You put the big 4x4 design on the cooler bag there in the middle. Use the 3x3 designs for the small tea bag and the small the golf towel there. Very easy to do. And again, those small designs, 2x2, 3x3, they can go on things like visors and koozies as well. So definitely a great way to utilize one product, one cheap price to do all this decorating. All right, so let's talk about the next one here. The Beach Bum Pack. This is close to our hearts, near and dear to our hearts here in Northeast Ohio on Lake Erie. So now what we've done here is we have decorated in the photograph at least, we've got a great bag, we've got a beach towel, we've got koozies, and we took it to a fun step here. We've got some plastic glasses, some plastic champagne flutes, and we've actually put some stickers on there. Transfer Express, we do some non-apparel products like stickers and banners and wall graphics and stuff, and we've just used our sticker product. And notice that the stickers look exactly like the other designs too. So aside from the stickers, the canvas bag, the koozie, and the beach towel, and if you want to go a step further, we could have easily done a t-shirt in there as well. If you throw all those things together, those are all one gang sheet. We've taken the big design and put it on the beach towel, and then we took some small designs, ganged them on the same sheet of paper underneath the big design, and the smaller designs, we put them on the koozie and the canvas bag. So now that beach bag back there brings up a point that I want everyone to notice. That beach bag back there, we've got the two blue straps down the front of the bag. Those are the handles we're looking at. It's the particular style of this bag. You've got the handles that go up the sides. So the problem there was we've got those thick handles. Those are obstacles. Those are obstacles in the way of doing our heat pressing. So what we ended up doing is we ended up putting a mouse pad into that pocket of that beach bag. And we raised the surface area above the blue handles, and then we're able to cleanly apply that Cool Paradise Resort design to the beach bag without those handles getting in the way. So again, with the raising surface area concept. But again, we've just used one gang sheet to do all the screen printed transfers you see here, and then the stickers that you see on the champagne flutes, the cute little stickers, those were incredibly cost effective. The non-apparel products, the CAD print products, are all priced based on size. The smaller the item, the cheaper it is per piece. And the minimum order is $25 worth for a CAD print product. So it was very simple to just get some small stickers. $25 worth of stickers would have gotten us a fair amount. And if this is a regular customer, if this is somebody who's going to come back to you, you can always save those stickers for a rainy day, or that can be a fun little item in their gift basket, some stickers for the kids maybe, or for what have you. So definitely a neat little bundle here, a fun way to go about decorating. And I want to throw out there what's not pictured, another item that you could throw into this fun bundle here would be a beach chair. We've all seen those beach chairs in the sporting goods department of whatever your favorite retailer is. Those beach chairs are very easy to apply on, depending on if we're talking nylon or polyester. If we are talking nylon, then we go the direction of our CAD prints. and the fabric panels of those beach chairs do tend to come off rather easily, and they're very easily heat pressed. So definitely a fun item you can add there, and again, a fun bundle for your shop. The baby bundle. I think everybody has a friend who's having a baby, so this is definitely a fun thing to go about doing. Now, I want to note very first here right off the bat that CAD prints, our CAD print product, the CAD prints are CPSIA compliant, and we do have a certificate available online. This means that you can put our CAD print product on a bib and not worry about baby getting sick, lead poisoning, anything like that. They are CPSIA compliant, so definitely a good thing. But that being said, again, we can go the route of our CAD prints opaque. We can go the route of our bid kits. The bid kit got us a 4x4 transfer, some 3x3 transfers, some 2x2 transfers. So it's very easy to use one CAD print order to do all this decorating. And we're talking diaper bag, we're talking bib, onesie, baby blanket, hats. Again, all this fun stuff, a lot of this fun stuff that you see in this particular picture actually also available from Broder Brothers. So a fun one there. And I saw somebody did ask about Broder Brothers. It's the website that we're talking about is BRODERBROS.com. So baby bundle, another fun one here. Preteen bundle. This is a fun one. There's so much neat stuff you can do for an elementary school child. T-shirts, the stuffed dog you see there. There's actually it's easier than you think to find dog-sized clothing, and dog clothing works just like human clothing. It's made out of the same type of fabric. So the little stuffed doggy with the T-shirt is a fun route to go. We've got a fun cinch sack. You can sort of see it behind everything else there now. The cinch sack we had to be careful with because the cinch sack was made out of nylon, so you'll notice that the cinch sack in the back there, that does have a CAD print opaque on it. But that's also a fun thing to add to your repertoire if you've never done that before. Cinch sacks are a great, fun little tote. They're very cheap. They're easy to decorate. And again, when you're talking nylon cinch sacks, you just make sure to get the CAD print product. But they're a fun item to decorate, and it's neat for the kids because they can be worn like backpacks for the younger ones. So definitely some fun decor there. And another example of a tennis shoe there. We used our Hotronics shoe platen to do that, so a lot of fun there. The business person, the businessman in your life. Broder Brothers has a couple different options for briefcases, laptop bags, so that's where we got that from, and the garment bag as well. As somebody who goes to the trade shows, I can tell you, one of these days I'm going to have to invest in one of these garment bags myself. I really should have a long time ago. So it's a fun gift, and it's a fun thing for you to actually be able to decorate. And if you think about it, that garment bag has a lot of space on it too. You have a lot of room to decorate however you want. Very easy to do so too. The laptop bag or briefcase that you see on the left-hand side there, that was another one where we've got some obstacles, we've got some seams, we've got some zippers, we've got some stuff happening all around the edge of that bag. So we ended up putting a mouse pad or a print perfect pad up inside that pocket to raise that surface area. So when we pressed that laptop bag, we didn't hit all the piping, we didn't hit all those seams or anything. Because it was inside that pocket, the heat press just hits that raised surface, and that's it. Now, something that's not on here, those laptop, little neoprene laptop cases, those are fun to decorate as well. We did those at the trade show. And SGIA, those were another fun item to decorate. It's neat to see how many people didn't realize that you could heat press on neoprene. So that was, again, just regular screen printed transfer. So for the college kid in your life. The college kid in your life, this is an easy one because college kids need everything. College kids need everything, right down to towels and shirts and pillowcases. And what's fun, because they're doing the college thing, we all know how college kids have that school spirit going on. So you can get creative with things like pillowcases, phone cases actually too. We have our non-apparel products, our stickers. So putting a sticker on a phone case, super simple. And that's actually a fun idea for you to offer to your high schools even. for the local spirit shops. Just finding the blank phone cases, the iPhone cases, just slapping a sticker on the back of that iPhone case. Now you've got a fun custom phone case. But pillowcases, again, for decor, you wouldn't want to lay your head on a transfer necessarily, but for decorating purposes, pillowcases definitely a doable item. Laundry bags. What college kid does not need a laundry bag? I think we've all been there, done that. So some fun ideas for the college kid in your life. So the tailgater. Now, maybe this is a Northeast Ohio thing. Maybe this is just us Clevelanders being weird, but tailgating is a big deal up here in Northeast Ohio. I think that might be the big reason the Browns are still around, is because it gives us all a reason to have a party on the municipal lot at Brown Stadium. But anyway, the tailgater options here, you've got car flags, you've got koozies, you've got rally towels. Now, koozies are super simple to decorate. When you're decorating a koozie, you want to make sure you've got one that sits flat. Do not get one of the pre-constructed koozies that is permanently in the cylindrical shape that cannot collapse down, because that you're not going to be able to heat press. You want to get a heat pressable koozie that sits flat. Those are very easy to find. Broder Brothers, koozies.com. There's a lot of places out there that do koozies. So just make sure you get just the right one. But wine tote, if you have a fancy-pantsy tailgater, somebody who's not looking for the beer, maybe the wine, wine totes do tend to be neoprene. Neoprene has that really cool ability to insulate, not only shockproof when you drop your laptop, but neoprene is a great insulator. It's actually what wetsuits are made out of. So neoprene, very easy to decorate on for those wine totes. Car flags, super popular. We all have seen our fair share of car flags in the last 10 years, I'm sure. Car flags tend to be made out of nylon, so the CAD print product works great on that. The kitchen chef. So we've gone with the Christmas theme here, technically. You don't have to go with the Christmas theme, though. You can do whatever you want. These items are all very easy to press on. Pot holders. Have you ever thought about doing that? Pressing on a pot holder. It's super simple because all it is, the fabric on the outside is heat pressable just like any other fabric out there. Just because it's a pot holder doesn't mean you can't decorate it, doesn't mean it's made out of something crazy that doesn't stick. So very easy to do. This is a fun bundle too because we've gone with the apron, we've done some towels in there, the oven mitt and the pot holder, and you can barely see it there. We've got our apron covering up our placemat. That's a fun item to add to your repertoire too, because if you think about it, we all know the local home goods store that has placemats super cheap, and again, you want to be careful. Don't get the plastic ones. Get the fabric ones for about $1 or $2 extra. Get the nice fabric placemat, stick a transfer on that. So now you've got customized placemats. So definitely a fun item to add to your list of decorating abilities. This is probably one of my favorites. We have to give a shout out here to one of our own here at Transfer Express. Our buddy Mike in the marketing department pulled this one off. Car seat covers for your car enthusiast friends. Yes, we pressed on these car seat covers. These are another one of those challenges. You have to be careful. You have to look for the obstacles. When you load your garment, whether it's a car seat cover or anything else, when you load it up onto your platen, you look for the obstacles. And if you've got to raise the surface area, then you raise the surface area. Now, in this case, that's what we had to do with Mike because he's got these seams, he's got the panels of fabric on these car seat covers. We had to raise the surface area. So made the application just a half a tick longer, but you get a nice, clean application. You get some really swanky-looking car seat covers here. Now, if you have a car enthusiast in your life, this is slick. And you tie it all together. Do a gang sheet. Our screen printed transfers have that 11 by 14 paper. Do a gang sheet. Put your car seat cover design on there. Put another full front transfer down on there. You could have your car enthusiast custom shirts, custom hat, and custom car seats that all go together. So next time your car enthusiast friend takes his car to the local car hop or the 50s night or to the track if you've got a drag racer, it's going to look cooler because you got it all tied together like that. And take it a step further, we've got our non-apparel products. So in this case, window clings. Perfect for the inside of that car enthusiast's car to slap a neat design on the inside of the window using a window cling. So definitely some fun ideas. Okay, everybody. I hope I have loaded you all up with some ideas, some fun concepts. Again, I know we went through those bundles kind of quickly considering how many we had, but the good news is we didn't go over time. So I'm going to encourage everybody, if you want a copy of these slides, since we did go through them quickly, email us. info at transferexpress.com. Let us know you want a copy. We will shoot the slides over to you. Definitely very useful. I encourage you all to check out our blog as well at transferexpress.com. Hit the blog on Mondays. I will be joining you at the Transfer Express blog on Mondays, offering fun tips and tricks, did you knows, all sorts of stuff. I always have something neat to tell everybody, so definitely make sure to hit the Transfer Express blog. If you have any questions about anything you've seen today, our customer service staff, our dealer service reps, they are more than happy to walk you through any of the things we've talked about today, any of the applications. And hey, when you do have that garment that's a little bit weird with obstacles that you're not sure how to deal with, call us. We'll help walk you through it. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. I hope everyone has a safe and fantastic holiday season. Next month, in the month of December, we're going to be redoing our greatest hits. We're going to be redoing some of our webinars from this past year that got the most attention. So I'm not going to be with you live next month, but I want everyone to have a fantastic holiday season, and I will talk to everybody in January. Take care, folks.